United are furious that this got leaked out ahead of the Bournemouth game. Now, the Villa game's the game where it's really going to happen because we won't have Ahmad and we won't have Mbeumo. And I think at times we saw a 4-3-3 against Bournemouth, but apparently this is really for the AFCON month where he feels that without Ahmad and Mbeumo, the 3-4-3 is susceptible. So he's going more to a more familiar system that these players understand. There's three things I would say. First of all, I don't think 4-3-3 actually works any better than a 3-4-3 because we've sold all our wingers. And Ahmad and Mbeumo, who are the only wingers we've got, won't be here. So we can go to a 4-3-3, but look at the front three. You'd have to put Cunha or Mount on or both on the wing. We haven't got any other wingers. So that, for me, is point number one. Point number two is that, hello, we bought Ruben Amorim into this club a year ago because he plays a 3-4-3 and he's now going to a 4-3-3. We'll discuss that more, I'm sure. And the big mic drop point number three I want to make is I find it really interesting that there is this obsession in certain sections of the fan base, certainly in the media and in our ex-player community, to play a 4-3-3 whilst totally ignoring that the last manager, the manager before that, the manager before that, and the manager before that all played 4-3-3 and got the sack. It's almost like it's a secret sauce that's going to make us great without acknowledging that we've literally sacked multiple managers playing a 4-3-3. So I'm a little bit concerned about it. Because I don't think it fits with what Ruben Amorim's meant to be doing. And also, it's also a system that we've used before and it didn't work. So I'm a little bit, I'm a bit like Neon Lover. I have been very consistent about this. You have to say, I was arguing about this in February, March, April, and again at the start of this season. I think the formation conversation is a little bit like the Holy Grail, but it won't be the Holy Grail. It won't. It won't suddenly make us good. It might make us better. It might make us worse, but it ain't the reason we're a bad team. Because if it was, Ten Hag would still be here because it was his system and it didn't work. MUFC Damu says, let's just try it. It might work. Well, look, I think the big issue is when you look at that is that, yeah, look, there's a lot of problems with it. Do you rate Delot as a right back? Is Luke Shaw capable of playing at left back now? I don't know whether he can play at left back. It's a more demanding role. Martinez is only just coming back from injury and so is De Ligt. So you couldn't even probably put that back four out against Villa. And Maguire won't be back either. So it wouldn't even be that back four. That's best case scenario, but it wouldn't be that back four. The midfield three would mean giving Ugarte and Mainu a start to put Bruno as the number 10. Do you really think he's going to do that? And then the striker would be Sesko if he's fit enough to start. And then Cunha and Mount aren't really wingers. So where does the width come from? So I saw it's a useful exercise because I just don't think we've got the players for it. I don't. I really don't. I think it suits Bruno Fernandes best of all. I think it suits De Ligt. I think it suits one or two players, but a lot of them, it really doesn't. You could argue that Mason Mount and Cunha work better in a 3-4-3 with two number 10s. We're basically picking two midfielders he doesn't like. We're using a left back who's not a left back anymore. We're using a right back who's not really much of a right back. I don't think we've got the players for it. I mean, you could put Dorgu at left wing, of course you could, but I think I can construct a team that's better with a 3-4-3 than a 4-3-3 with what we've got at the moment. And of course, maybe point 4 would be, if Amorim was ever thinking about playing a 4-3-3, why did he sell every winger we've got? I mean, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho. He basically got rid of all of them. Okay, Ahmad is a winger, but he's not a winger at the moment, is he? He's not here, and neither's Mbeumo. So I think it's... I definitely think it's on the agenda. I definitely think Man United's reaction to it shows that it was on the agenda and their frustration at being leaked. But does it fundamentally make us a better team? I don't know. It's a long time. And also, it's a long time since we've played a 4-3-3. So I think it's... I think it's an interesting one. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on it. I do also want to talk tonight about a couple of stories coming in as well around the midfield. Apparently, we've been offered Ruben Neves. Bayern Munich apparently are interested in Bruno. And Xerxes to Roma could happen if Man United want it to happen. So we'll talk about all those things in a moment. But I want to get into your comments on this first of all. I can understand the formation change, but in reality, this proves that Amorim has no backbone and the incompetence of our board, says Dayan. Well, yeah, look, I think the mixed messaging at United is the most terrifying thing. Interestingly, I was told this afternoon about the Bruno interview stuff. Whilst the club aren't particularly happy about it, it's not a big deal. I mean, that was all I was told. Like, so, work that one out. Bruno Fernandes has done an interview basically saying, throwing the club under the bus. They're not particularly happy about it, but it's not a big deal. And you sort of go, is this not the problem with the football club? They just seem so cowardly. They seem so lacking leadership and vision. I mean, I've got to be honest. If I was Bruno Fernandes and I got called into the office, and this won't happen, by Barada and Wilcox, they're about as intimidating as a couple of kittens. Imagine them trying to tell you off. I'd be like, oh God, just get on with it. And that's a big problem. That is a big problem with the football club. I just do not believe that the people in power are intimidating, respected, at all, and that's been going on for a long time. Ed Woodward would imagine Ed Woodward giving a team speech to the players. Yeah, lads, we're really gonna go and he's got no persona at all in relation to respect or influence. Same with Murta, same with Arnold, same with Barada and Wilcox. So I think that United doing nothing about anything is probably standard to what we've expected over the last few years. And I think Amorim going to a 4-3-3, it is embarrassing. And it's not just embarrassing, in my opinion, on Amorim. It's also embarrassing on Wilcox and Barada, who signed off selling all our wingers as well. It's, as I said this morning, if he goes to a 4-3-3, it's going to be very hard to go back to a 3-4-3. It's like those last days of Ollie where he went to the back five. I think if he goes to a 4-3-3 to survive, he's going to have to stay with that. Because if he goes back to a 3-4-3, people will go, but you're not that rigid. It's a weird one. It is a weird one.